Settle in and grab a book, a comfy chair, your favorite nook with Kate and Court. Yeah, it's the Cozy Corner.
Hi, I'm Kate.
And I'm Court. Welcome to Kate and Court's Cozy Corner Romance Readers.
This is a podcast for lovers of romance and romantasy novels who want to go on a deep dive into their favorite genre. Honest discussions and salacious details, giving romance books the respect they deserve. We are two friends, actors, moms, and romance readers who like a bit of spice and everything nice in their books.
As we like to say, you don't need spice for a book to be good. Well, you don't need running shoes to run, but they sure do help.
Hi.
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 Yay!
All right. Welcome back to Kate and Court's Cozy Corner. We are so excited to have you guys with us today.
Mhm.
Also very funny. We've had a bunch of technical difficulties signing on right now.
Yes, that's why I'm so
Yes.
excited that we heard Canasia because
Yes.
it's been a minute trying to work.
Yes.
Yeah, which is
Mhm.
really brilliant because today we have with us Canasia Ngo, who is a book influencer and also a producer on our show. She helps us with all of our social media because Court and I are millennials and we're bad with our phones. I mean, I'm awful with my phone and Court, I thought she was like brilliant with hers, and Canasia's like Court doesn't know how to use her phone at all.
Yeah.
So
So she's a brilliant
So-
content creator, so we brought her on for all of our.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And
Yes.
so I just think I love the irony that it's like this is our team. Well, this is 3 members of our 4-person team, and the amount of technical difficulties we had logging in today.
We clearly don't have a
Yes.
technical producer. That's the part we're missing. We don't have
Yes.
behind the scenes like Robbie Rob, armchair expert. We don't have that person. Clearly.
No, which it's just, but I love it. But we're doing it anyway, you know. So yay us! I also have to point out today that you guys, my headphones snapped, and I have
I love it.
Oh
put
my
them
gosh.
together with duct tape, and
I
I'm
wouldn't
like,
have noticed until you showed me right
I
now.
know.
Now it's all I
do
can
you
see.
see the like
I can see
lopsided?
the uneven.
All I can see as well.
I love it.
But it just makes me laugh. So I'm like,
Yeah.
it's fine. I'm making do. And then I'm like, this is not, Caitlin, what are you doing? This is not tenable. Like, we cannot continue this way. So I will be ordering some new headphones.
My friend last night was like, she listened to the Call Me Daddy podcast or whatever because Sarah J. Maas was on there, obviously.
Yes.
And
Yes.
she's like, we need to get you a table like she has. Who do we talk to about getting you a table? I'm like, no, we like that we're like casual,
Yeah.
homemade kind of feel. But now we're going a new level with our duct tape.
I mean, I do
Yeah.
love that we are like
Headphones.
gluing popsicle sticks and just like, you know, like this is very, very real. Like, we're not like a
cozy.
fancy. It's cozy. We're in our cozy corners. Look
Yeah.
at Canasia's cozy corners.
I know.
Oh,
I'm
yes.
obsessed.
Yes. Yes.
How beautiful
There's
this
so
is in
much.
the vinery. This is what happens when you
Yes,
don't have kids,
yes.
Kate. You can like grow.
What? I know. Well,
Ugh.
right? Like our kids' rooms look great.
They've got all the good shells. I love it,
We are-
Canasia. It's
Yeah.
so
They're like
good.
shoved in little corners, but oh my god, it's beautiful, and I love the plant. Is that a
Thank
real
you.
plant up there? It looks fake. It's so pretty.
No, those are fake. All the
Okay,
plants are fake.
okay.
They would die. They would die within like 5 seconds if they were real.
The only house plant I can keep alive is a pothos. That's it, you guys.
Mhm.
Pothos, like everything else I've tried has just like died on me, and I'm like, all right, fine.
Oh, I
forget
don't
it.
even try. My husband does all that. He loves plants and greenery. Him and my son, they're like the
Nice.
big. So we have a greenhouse in our windows that they rotate every day and move and care. And I just can't even.
See,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, why do you have to care about a plant? Just like it's there. It's supposed to just be there, but apparently it's not.
Right.
It needs a lot of care.
Yes.
pothos are just there. They're just there for you. They're there to make you feel great, and they can handle tons of neglect. And snake
Oh, good.
plants as well, actually.
Yes, those are
the
easy.
2.
And the
are
one that
easy.
has like that white flower. There's like
I
big
don't
green
know.
leaves and that white flower. That's
Yeah.
like
Oh, yeah. I think that's a kind of pothos, actually, maybe.
oh,
I know the
maybe.
one you're talking about. But
That's the only one I've kept
Um,
alive.
anyway, so we have plants. We have Canasia with us today, which
Yes.
is really exciting because she is the one who like helps keep us hip and cool and like our ear on the ground. And Canasia, was it you who were like who brought today's book to us, or is it Court, did you find it from another friend?
She sent it to me, and
Yes,
she,
okay.
but literally, like, Canasia sent it to me, my friend Lindsay sent it to me, someone else, and the book talk, one of the ones I follow all the time, also was like I'd like seen this book come up and up and up, and then Canasia sent him like, okay, Canasia's like, this is getting published, so grab the indie copy now
Yes.
because it's going to disappear
Right.
and you won't be able to get it for a few months. So that's what I was
Yes.
like, okay, I'm on it. But we
Yeah.
had such a full TBR. I'm like, I have to read this before I make Caitlin read it. And then I read it, and then
Yes.
I'm like, oh no, we've got to do this
Because
Yeah.
instantly.
It got to the point with the TBR where I said to Court, I was like, do not shove another book in my face. Like I am drowning in books right now. I
Oh,
just
gosh.
put like a hard no, a hard boundary. And then Court comes in and she's like, Daggermouth by H.M. Wolfe.
Yes.
We have to. And I literally, like, the resistance, the almost a little bit of rage actually came.
Yeah.
I was like, not another one. This keeps happening. And
Oh
then
my
I like
God.
do a little sleuthing for like 2 seconds and I'm like, oh, stop everything.
Yes.
We have to read this book and we
Yes.
have to talk about it right now.
Oh, yeah. If it's
Um,
coming at me from like 5 directions, I'm like, oh, okay, this is something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which it is. I'm
Yeah.
so glad we
Yeah.
did because it is amazing.
It's amazing. One more time for the
Oh.
folks in the back. Today we are talking about Daggermouth by H.M. Wolfe. If you are
Yes.
really into like, you know, book talk, romantasy, romance books, all that. If you're paying attention, you've definitely heard of it by now. And if this is the first time you're hearing about it, then like welcome.
Yes. It's
and
only been
and
out for
you're
like
welcome.
70 days or something. It's not even that, like, it just
Yeah.
independently got
Yeah.
published and took off, right, Canasia? It's like,
Yes.
and that's why it's currently on Kindle Unlimited or website, but it's going to be published not properly, but traditionally now in, I feel like they're saying in the fall it's supposed to
I think
come
it's
out.
September.
Yes,
do you know more?
I believe it's this year, September, October, because I was
Mhm.
surprised that they were going to be publishing it very soon. But I guess because
Mhm.
it's a very new book that was on Kindle Unlimited for like a
Yeah.
very short amount of time,
Mhm.
they
They
were just
grabbed it
able to process
quick.
it like very quickly. Because I think it's a new publishing under Simon and Schuster where they're doing like a Scarlet Press for like romantasy books. So I think that's
Mhm.
what they're trying to do. And they found this one and we're like, we're going to take
It's
it
out.
right now.
It's probably going to do like
Oh.
Daggerbound, where it'll come out in paperback first. Usually they come out in
Yes.
hardcover and then paperback, but I think because of the quick release, it'll be paperback, and then next year like a special edition is my guess.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And then am I right that in the little bit of sleuthing that I did, am I right that there's a second one already like coming out pretty much on the heels of this one? with the
Well, it'll probably get
traditional-
pushed now because like
Yeah.
Daggerbound did with Furybound.
Yeah.
Furybound was about to drop on Kindle Unlimited, and then it all got picked up and it all got pushed.
Yes.
Oh.
I literally read Daggerbound and I think I told Courtney, and the day I finished it was when it got just picked up. So they had to push Fearbound because Fearbound was supposed to release in July the same year, like
Right.
last
Yeah.
year.
Okay.
So it's supposed to
Got it.
release literally in the summer, but they pushed it back.
Yeah.
It
And
was
now we
horrible.
get it this spring, right? I know.
Yes, we got it this.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
in May or
We
June.
do get it this spring. Okay, so that's what's going to happen with Daggermouth then, because I do remember seeing. I was like, "Oh, amazing! Like in September, they're gonna do this, and then we'll get the second one right away." But no, they're totally gonna make us all wait
Yeah.
forever.
Yes.
Okay. Well, in the meantime, we can talk about this book. How do we want to do this, Court? Do you want to give like a little bit? I guess give us the lay of the land.
give
with
a
no
quick one.
spoilers. Okay.
Yes, we'll go no spoilers first because this is one of those books, like when we did Alchemize. If you have not read it, please go read it. We'll talk for a bit and then we'll tell you when we'll hit spoilers. But it is amazing. It is a slow burn, true enemies to lovers, like true enemies to lovers, dark romance that just like takes you along for the ride, and like you think you can like start predicting, you think you're on that train, and then it curves another way, it goes another, like it just keeps you guessing, and then it still flips and you're like, what just happened?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so good. So the basis, it's about I'm gonna already mess up the name. Shadara
Shadara.
gets called Shade for short in the book.
Mhm.
It's this world, dystopian world. So at the heart of it is the heart, which is also called New
Well, the whole town is called Newfound Haven.
Newfound
The whole
Haven.
city.
The whole city's
city.
Newfound Haven. And in the middle, where all the rich and fancy people live, is the heart. And then the outer ring of that is the cardinal. And then the outside of that is the boundary.
Yeah.
That dystopian setup we have seen in books before of how it kind of layers out.
Yeah.
And the further you go out, the poorer they are, the less resources they have, the more they're just like sent there to die. And they kind of just keep hanging on by their wits, basically.
Yeah.
And scrappy.
Yeah.
And so she lives in the boundary. But she's part of this group of resistance fighters and killers called the Daggermouths, and they take on contracts to kill people, essentially. That's what she does. And she gets a contract to kill Grayson, who is also
he's the executioner, and he's the son of the dictator of the whole
the president, the dictator, Maximus. And it's to kill him. And she's like, oh, because he killed her parents. His dad killed her parents. And so this is like personal for her. And she wants to take him out, essentially. And so she takes the contract and is like, yes, I'm going to do this. And then comes this hot guy, Jameson, who clearly she seems like she uses for his body a lot, but he's like desperately in love with her a little bit. And they like hook up, and so you get some steam right away into some kind of similar to Direbound, where we just like hit it right away. But you're not like, you haven't gotten into the book yet, so you haven't had a slow build or like care. It's just like little spice. And then he's like basically begs her to please not take this contract because it's so dangerous, because basically to get into the heart of the city is almost impossible without being killed. And then if you manage it, getting out alive after you've killed him will also be impossible. And so he's like, this is a death warrant. Like, please don't do it. But of course, she's still like, I'm going to do it. So, because there wouldn't be a book. She goes to try to kill him without still won't spoil it yet. She makes her way in. She gets in there, and she has this perfect shot when he's up on the execution, because the way that they do it is anytime anyone breaks a law, any kind of law, if it's falling in love with someone from a different ring, you're not allowed to love someone that's not in your same standing. If it's stealing food because they're literally starving to death, talking to people, like any little tiny law that this president has made to keep control, they execute you. It's just like no trial, just boom, you're being executed. And so like every day it seems like he goes up there with like a couple people, and then he asks them, how do you want to be killed? And they always pick a gun, and he shoots them. And he's having a hard time with it. He's like starting to hesitate. It's not as simple for him. He doesn't love his role, but he doesn't have a choice. His father's like groomed him to be this guy, and he has to do it. But we see from his point of view like that it's not something he enjoys doing. It's just something he has to do. And she gets this shot, and she doesn't take it because she decides she wants to get up close and personal. She needs it to be a personal kill. And she manages to sneak her way and get him one-on-one when he's about to get set up with a marriage ceremony with this woman. Oh, the very big thing is, in this world, in the heart, everyone wears masks. You don't see the person's face. It's another thing that the president has put, is that you are masked. No one knows what you look like. You cannot reveal your face until you marry someone through the bond. And when you have the unveiling ceremony, unveiling ceremony is essentially your wedding. Then you can reveal your face to each other, and it's like this commitment forever. That's the sacred thing, a part of their law that is written into this world. And so he's being set up with this woman that he's going to have the unveiling ceremony with. And when Shay breaks in and is about to kill him, he takes off his masks as like one last defiance. She sees his face. She doesn't have a mask, and they see each other's face, and then people walk in and catch them like trying to kill each other, like actively fighting, trying to kill each other. And the solution they come up with, because the family that he was supposed to marry are like hardcore by the rules, will not let this be like forgotten about. And so the king is like, well, they're getting married then. And they like come up with a plan that they're going to make her like the face of the resistance, because the resistance that have been fighting the heart, they're going to make her like a pawn basically, and show like, we can control everyone. That's kind of the setup after the first little bit of the book is where we get to. Yes.
That is the setup.
Yes.
And that is like also, I mean, you hit it pretty early on with the two things. One, that we get spice right away, which I love. And it works too, because the connection with Jameson is there. It's not one of those, like it's like, oh, okay, this is fun. This is cool.
He's very likable. He's very, you know, he genuinely feels for her, and she's like shut that part of herself down. And so you can invest without feeling like that it has to be. I don't know if
Yes.
that explains it well.
Yeah.
But yes.
No, that does. That explains it well. So it's like it's really enjoyable, and you're also kind of like, oh, okay. And then you feel like, oh, like I know there's going to be another guy here, and as you start to feel, you kind of immediately, I was like getting attached to this Jameson guy. Like he's pretty fucking cool.
He's honestly, he's one that I was like, oh, I don't think. The only note I literally said to Kate about this book, I'm like, and to Canasia, and I was like, 6 stars, no notes. Like,
Yeah.
I love this book.
Yeah.
But again, and this happens to me a lot, and we've talked about this quite often. Like, I do get caught up in love triangles. I really always have a hard time. No, even though you know it's an enemies to lover, you know this is slight spoiler, but like
Yeah.
Grayson will eventually be the other love triangle between the 3. But
Yeah.
I still love Jameson. Like, I didn't feel like that was a
know.
clean enough separation for me to be totally like, and now we're here. Like,
Yeah.
I had a hard, that's the only thing that I'm like,
I did too. Canasia, how did you feel about Jameson?
I actually am on the other end. I actually really didn't like Jameson.
Oh,
my
interesting.
gosh.
I thought you would because he's
Love
like an
this.
older man going.
Oh my god. No, unfortunately, I didn't really like him. Like when he was introduced into the book, I was like, oh, like I already know he's like probably not going to be like the main love interest.
Right.
'Cause I was
Yes,
thinking,
yes,
like,
yes.
we already know like Grayson's going to be it. But
Yeah.
like I think it reminded me similar to like Hunger Games where it's like Peeta and Gale, and like Jameson
Right.
just reminded me of Gale and like being that
Yeah.
overprotective like MMC. Like obviously like he really cares about Shade and for like obvious reasons, but I just think he was like very overbearing because I know Shade is like a very independent, very strong female main character, which I really loved.
Yes,
But for
she
Yes.
Jameson,
really
like
is. She
was
really
just very
is.
yes. Yeah, but
Yeah,
for, I
that's
don't
a
know
good
why.
point.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying there. I love the Hunger Game comparison. I forgot about that. It's been
But
so
I loved
long.
Gale in Hunger Games too. Like, I also
I didn't
loved
love Gale.
I love Peeta, of course, but I wasn't like, oh, drop him. Well, and also it was a
Oh, that's
Hemsworth
true.
playing him in the movie too, which made it
Yeah.
like, well, maybe take a piece before you jump over to Peeta.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right? You're like, ooh.
Maybe just sample before we just fully go that way.
Yeah.
But I still was torn on that. Like, it's weird. I know the right choice, and I know Peeta was the right choice in Hunger Games. That is a very good comparison. This is like a
Yeah.
super dark Hunger Games to a degree. In
To a
terms of
degree.
love triangle, dystopian.
Yes, because
Not
it's
the
kind of
world,
like
but-
the 2010s, like the nostalgic, like the Hunger Games, Divergent, like that
I was gonna say,
dystopian world.
Hunger
Yeah.
Games, Divergent. It's giving that vibe. Like, because when she was like, "Oh my gosh, Kate, it's like so like alchemized." And I was like, "This isn't like alchemized." I was like, "This is like it's a dark romance. Like it's a really a dark romantasy, all this
Yes.
stuff." And I was like, but it didn't have the same. Well, alchemized has that crazy body horror that like never stops. And then also the language of Alchemized was like super poetic. This one is an easier read. Like it's an easier
Oh,
like
100%.
hook you
It's
in.
easier,
Yeah.
but it is dark like
It's very
Alchemized.
dark like
Yes.
Alchemized. And then because I
Yes.
mean there's
Like-
some stuff when we get further along that's just like holy shit.
The first
then-
50 pages don't seem like it. Like the first 50
No.
pages, you're like, what is it? Takes a minute to get into that way. Like it does
Yes.
to build into, for sure.
And then where it really, really got me, and this is the other point that you made early on that I was like, and then I want to get to this point, is every time I thought I knew what was coming next, I was like, okay, you know what I mean? I'm like, I've got this book figured out. It turned a different direction. I was like, what? And I love that.
Yes.
Canasia, I know you read like an insane amount, like Court does as well, and everything. And I'm just curious because I know Court, what you said, you kept being like, whoa. Did you find that too, or were you like, oh, I've read this before? Like,
I think there's like one twist that I had a feeling it was gonna come up. Like also I'm not gonna say it now when we
Yeah.
talk about the spoilers.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
there's like one that I knew that was coming up because I just had a feeling like maybe like halfway into reading I was like, oh, like this is for sure gonna happen.
okay.
But I think there was two big ones I didn't realize
Yes.
that were gonna
Yeah.
happen.
Yes, exactly. There's one I'm curious
Yeah.
to see if we land on the same. Well, should
Yeah.
we just dive? Okay. We should
it's
dive
time.
into spoilers. So
Yeah.
if you haven't read it and you're going to read it, or like you actually read your TBRs, go read this and come back. If you're never going to read, then just listen to us talk about it because it's a great book and really fun, and I can't wait for you to hear all the twists. But if you're going to read this at all, please go read it now and then come
Yeah.
back and listen to us because it's so
It's
good.
so fun.
Yeah.
It's so timely.
It is.
It
But
is
you
like-
do have to jump past the first 50 pages. Like you have to get into it before then
Yeah,
you're on the
but
ride.
50 pages isn't that long to get into a
No.
book. I mean, I think it
Yeah.
takes that long for any book. You know what I mean? But like it's a it's a fast read, and it's
Very fast.
It is for this book is right now. Like,
Oh,
when
it's so
we're-
current and like
it's
Yes.
so
the feminism in this book is just like, that's what I think got me. Like the same way that Alchemize got me emotionally with like that relationship, the feminism in this book is I think what
Yeah.
got my emotions when I'm like, I like Alchemize that way, that it stayed with me. Like there's parts
Yeah.
of this book that stay with you, and that
Yeah.
was why I'm like, it's like that out of everything we've read.
Mhm.
Like
yes, because it reminds me of Handmaid's Tale a little bit.
mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
makes it
Handmaid's
dystopian,
Tale,
yeah.
Hunger Games.
Mhm.
Like it's just there's something to this book that's special. And I
Yes.
think even with the first 50 pages, why I say that is because when I started reading it, especially when you read a book hyped up, you
Yeah.
immediately judge. You just judge faster.
You
And
do.
so you will be like,
You do.
is this what is this? Like I don't see what they're
Yes.
talking about yet. And you won't until you
No,
get a
you
bit
won't.
further. And then you're there.
And that's a great point to make, Court, because this is super hyped, and we're like hyping it like crazy right now too. So somebody could
Yeah.
easily pick it up and be 25 pages in and be like, okay, nice try, ladies. But it's like, no.
No.
Like, keep going. And then you'll hit it. And then like, I don't know. I think it's really hard to like not to be like living in our world that we live in right now in this like current geopolitical climate and not be, there's a reason
Yeah.
this is blowing up as fast as it is.
Yeah, and
Yes.
also like I think when people see it, they think it's just a romantasy because when it was first introduced to me too, I thought it was just like a romantasy. I'm like, oh, like it's gonna be very like heavily focused on romance, like even though it's claimed to be dystopian, like I doubt that's
Mhm.
really gonna happen because it's happened with like Silver Elite before. But
Mhm.
it was like very like the romance was kind of just like a subplot, which I really like.
Yeah, it was
I
the
really
B
like it was
point.
focused
Like
more on like the
exactly.
world itself.
And
Yeah.
that's also why I think I compared to Alchemize. Like they're both, the romance is the B
Yes.
storyline, BC.
Yes.
It's the dark,
Yes.
it's the world, dystopian world that's actually the
Yes.
focus of the book.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Absolutely. Okay. All right. So if you listen beyond this, you're going to get spoilers.
Mhm.
You've been warned. All right. Okay. I want to know right away then, Canasia, what is the twist that you saw coming?
That the brother was alive.
Yes, I saw that coming too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I knew the
Yeah,
brother
yeah.
was going to be alive. I
you
didn't
knew
think
that
that he
early?
was
I
going to be working for the dad though. I didn't
No.
see that twist.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
didn't
that one didn't see because I feel like with dystopians, the brother is always somehow like the person who gets killed apparently is
Yeah.
always somehow still alive and is working
Yes.
with the rebellion.
Okay.
But
you
the
guys
twist was
figured,
that
yeah.
but the twist when he's working for his dad, I was like, wait a minute.
I have not
'Cause that's
seen that.
different.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
he
That was a
100%
tough-
was in with his dad. That was that
Yes.
one. I'm like, what?
That
Yeah.
was a
Yes.
tough twist. Like that one was a dagger. Like that.
And it was
I
right
was
after like Lyra and her
"No."
standing up and like having
Yeah,
all the
like,
women
literally
standing up in
everything.
white. The worst
Ugh.
timing. And I'm like, oh, 1 step forward, 5 steps back. Like it feels
Oh
so
my
current
God.
to now. And with President
Yes.
Trump and like what's
Yes.
happening, you're like, why? There's always some
How?
Yes.
angle. What else
How,
can we
right?
use to distract from the
Yeah.
Epstein files? Yes, like
Oh
it's
my
just
God.
insane.
Insane. And that's
Insane.
why like we're saying like it's so timely because it's really absurdly like a big, it's thinly veiled here. But
Yes.
but yeah, no, that was such a dagger. And because she, when she had that moment, and we're just gonna go all over the place now. When she had that moment at the end, Lyra with her stand, I was like, oh, this is fun. Okay, so she's taking it out of like the guy's hands. So now the guys aren't doing the rescue, right? And then Brooker is like, actually, I've been working with Dad the whole time. And then I was just like, no.
You couldn't catch your breath. Yeah, like don't let this be like before
What?
the next
Yeah.
twist that comes. Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
And so her and Callum and they the Callum. I knew
Okay.
someone was gonna
Lyra and
die.
Callum are just
So hot. That was like that spice.
I love
you
them.
guys.
I
Oh
loved
my
him so much. I'm
God.
so sad that that's gone. I can't even.
Yeah.
That was the
I
similar
knew
feeling
it.
to me. Oh, I can't even
Yeah.
say
I
because you
knew
haven't
it.
read the book. Damn it. I won't say what it reminds me of. We
Wait.
can't say. I'll have to tell you off air. 'cause
Oh yeah,
Kate
yeah.
hasn't
No,
read
don't
it.
tell me. A book that I haven't read. Okay, I was like, wait, we
But
read Daggermouth.
it broke my heart.
That I'm
it
definitely
broke
like going to
my
read.
heart. Like
But I knew it had to happen because
I thought it
we
was going to be
needed-
Jameson. I thought Jameson was going to get
we
shot.
didn't. We weren't attached. We had
No.
already detached from Jameson. That wasn't.
I
gonna-
know. I
The
know
moment
why.
They all. I feel like every fantasy, they always kill like the character that is going to be like the most beloved one. It always happens.
Yes.
No,
It always happens.
except
some
for
point.
But the
Quicksilver
fact that
so
it happened
far.
like
The redhead's
the
so
fact that it happened like the fact that it happened on book 1 is crazy.
Yes, it's
Crazy.
early. It's early.
And
It's
I
so
Yes.
early.
But it was
It'll-
when it was their sex scene. It was their like, total coming together and just how incredible that was and the whole thing and
And
that
then build
finish,
up
and I
their
was
own
like,
slow burn.
Yes.
There was 2
Mhm.
slow burns, theirs and
Yes.
Ray and Shay. So
exactly.
Lyra, so you guys, if you don't know, is the sister of Grayson, his younger sister that he's been trying to protect. And she's been in love with Callum, who is Grayson's best friend for like their whole
Mhm.
lives. And they got together once and then like Callum realized like this would just endanger her and he can't be with her. And he thought he was protecting her by never talking to her again and salvaging his friendship with Grayson. But they finally like come together and he realizes how many things he missed and that like her father used her body to spend like so many disgusting, gross things
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
she had to go through that he wasn't protecting her at all, in fact. And again, as we always say, he should have just given her the choice and talked to her and
Yeah.
given her
Right.
agency and then he
Yes.
would have known.
Yeah.
Like, talk to the freaking women, guys. Just talk to
That
us.
was all they had to do.
Well, that's all it was is a conversation.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to do what you think protects us, as we've learned, book over book over book over book. Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ugh.
Which is also interesting in this book. Anyway, so you did I want to get to talking about things, but the Callum and Lyra thing, the way they connected, they came together, all of that finished. I'm like, he's fucking dead. And just because I was like, somebody's gonna die.
Yeah.
That was so amazing
Yeah.
that now I almost care more about them than I do
I
about
know.
Katie.
I know. And she
Yes.
had her
And
huge
so-
moment because I'm like, what has she been planning? What has she been trying? Because she keeps hinting that like she's got her own plan
Yeah.
separate from the whole groups. All of them are all planning this big moment to throw a coup at the president at the end of the book.
Mhm.
And then she steps up and has this huge moment that she takes off her mask and unzips and all these women. It's like the Me Too moment. It was like all the
Yeah.
women joining and saying Me Too. It was that
Yeah.
moment.
It really was. And so that actually plays well the way that it was a big moment. And then
Yes.
it was just like
squashed.
squashed,
Yeah.
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 Which is, oh my God, literally this book, she's just so like, she's right on top of everything we're going through right
Yeah.
now, which is why it is on fire, this book.
Yeah.
And speaking of, so then you just got to the other thing that I want to talk about was like, talk to one another, I mean, it's always
Yes.
in all of
Yes.
these books, right? But you have all these different factions of rebellion that are
Yes.
not working together. Whereas,
Yeah.
the president, the dictator, his whole like team, like they are coordinated, they are working together. Sure, they have, fractions breaking off within towards the
Yeah.
rebellion, but that's minor compared to how much of a one unit they're working as. Whereas all the rebellions are like everybody in this book, especially when we get with our 4 main, right? We have Shadera, Grayson, Callum, and Lyra, and they're all having that conversation and they're like, oh, well, this was happening to me. Oh, this was oh, you were doing this. Oh,
Yes,
you were. And
no
then at
one
one
was
point, somebody
talking.
goes, no more secrets. Because
And they still kept secrets. They still
They
kept
still
secrets.
did, yes. And that's why this keeps happening, what we're seeing in the world, because people don't communicate their own plans with each other, and the dictator's always very clear and planned out and manages to stay a step ahead. But okay, Shay and Grayson get locked into a room,
Yeah, let's dial
and the
back
slow
here. Let's
burn
dial
of
back.
them, let's dial back
Yeah.
before the ending and the like explosions that happen.
Yeah.
And that is a slow burn romance. It's true enemies to lovers. They hate each other.
It is.
They get to this scene, guys, before they hook up the first time. They literally shoot each other.
shoot each other.
Yes.
I
And
loved
it was
it.
Yes.
such a
It
great
was
scene.
amazing.
It was so fun and done so well. And the anger and lust and love line that was walked with them. So
Yeah.
well done. And I wasn't sure about Grayson at first because honestly, at
Same.
first, as a gray, morally gray FMC, or MMC, he wasn't quite black enough. He felt a little
yeah.
in his morally
Soft
gray,
early,
soft, a little
right?
soft early. And not that
Yeah.
there's anything wrong with that. Listen, I love
Yeah.
a guy that has a conscience about killing people in reality.
Mhm.
But in the book, when you're first reading, you're like, why? And she's so strong. And then she's kind
Yeah.
of surrounded by these softer guys. But then as he goes through this and their battle and their slow burn, that kind of goes away and you get to see this like other part of him that comes out that is just like he's a
Mhm.
decent guy, but also super hot and sexy and built and like
Yeah.
wants to do the right thing, but would be a good leader, but also could grab her and just like take her and fuck her
Okay.
against a wall. All
I
of the
know
above.
I
Yes.
know my moment when Grayson, like when it clicked for me with Grayson. I'm gonna hold on to it. I want to go like through. I want to, Canasia, when did it click for you with Grayson?
Honestly, like, I mean, even the first chapter when he was just introduced, like, I was like, Grayson.
I thought so because you were
Yeah,
never
like the
into
first
Jameson.
You
chapter.
weren't into Jameson,
So,
exactly.
So you were like, the moment he stepped on stage, I was in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was like, I'm gonna dive in. I was like,
Yeah.
he is the one. I'm like, Jameson,
Yeah.
who cares?
I
Step
knew
aside.
he was supposed to be the one, but he wasn't the one for me for a while. Okay, so
No.
Court, when did it click for you?
I don't remember.
Okay.
But I think it's like I read this 2 weeks ago, which in my world is like 10 books ago. So,
Yeah.
but I think it was 2 parts that are really sticking out to me is the gunfight really was like, okay, it was really hot
That
and
was
sexy.
hot.
But I think this happened before the bar scene when Jameson is there. When Jameson tries to take her out and then he like confronts the two of them.
Is that
Was it
right
before the gun scene or after? Both of those were hot. And there's a my wife scene, and I can't remember the
Yes,
details of it
that's what
right now.
I mean, I
just-
think he was just like, take your hands off my wife or something. like
Yeah,
that.
it was just
It
very
like,
possessive
yes.
and sexy that
That's
I
what
loved
was like,
it.
yes.
Yes,
That
that was
was it
my
for me.
like this scene.
That was
so
my
that
moment.
my
It
wife
was when
scene.
Yeah. But it was it was another one of those like double twist moments because she's with Jameson, right? They're at the bar. And yes, this is before they shoot each other. This is they're out for the night at the bar kind of thing. It's like, oh, let's go have, like
It's the first moment
night
in
the
their
entertainment
relationship
district.
that they've come to this peace settling that he's like, I'm gonna let you have this relief. I'm gonna take you out to a bar.
Yeah.
Like he's trying to
Because
like
she's really been imprisoned in
Yeah.
his apartment the whole time. So this is
Yeah.
except for when
Yes.
he takes her around, and shows her, and then he's like, and then we'll go out in the entertainment district
Yeah.
this night, whatever.
'cause Callum owns
they're-
the
so they're-
entertainment district.
Yeah. So they're
Yeah.
going out in the entertainment district and they're out and they kind of have like a couple moments, and you're warming up, right? Like if
Yeah.
you're in Shadira's eyes, like in this book, which I very much was, you're warming up to him. You're like, all right, this is happening and it's going to be okay. And then, what was it? They're at the bar and then Jameson comes in and he's doing the rescue and he pulls her into that room, right? And you feel her hesitation because she's like, well, shit, now I'm kind of into this guy. And that's all happening, right? We're
Yes.
reading all of that. And then she's like, no, fuck it. Who am I kidding? And she's going to go with Jameson.
Yeah,
and
because
then the
he's there to
door
rescue her. It's a
opens.
rescue
Yeah.
operation.
It's a rescue op. So she's like going to get changed into the the outfit so that she can like sneak out dressed
Before
as a
you say
bearer.
it, a quick pause on it before you do, because I want you to continue that. Behind the scenes, while she's been in prison and getting to know Grayson, Jameson's been like full launching to rescue her. He's been
Yes.
losing his mind. And for me, that's when I was building more and more towards Jameson. I wasn't like on him
Yeah.
right away in the first, but those scenes when he's like caring and trying to save her and rescue her and willing to like risk his life, but he's doing it in like this hot, sexy way. I was like, this guy, like he's willing to give everything his life just to like protect her and get her back. And he's been worried about her. He goes to her boss. He faces down these people that can kill him in a second. Like and Jameson, is a doctor to children. Like he's basically a pediatrician in his spare time. Like that's what he does, is get medicine and help kids. How can you not also be into Jameson? Like he is a good guy, sexy, gives her orgasms, hot. I know he's not Grayson, but like we really made him a good second. It was here still at this point.
When
Until
she
the
was
next
in
scene.
it, when she's like, yes, I'm escaping with you, I'm like, oh, thank goodness. Okay, there's good in this world.
When she
going
wouldn't
with the
kiss
right
him, when she wouldn't kiss him before he came in, remember he tries to kiss her goodbye and do that? And when she wouldn't, I was like, what? What do you mean? At least
Oh
it's
my
his
God.
goodbye. I didn't
Same.
like that. I was like, I don't think you're
No.
this far gone from him yet. I feel like
Yeah.
you'd kiss him still. Like, I don't think you'd have that restraint yet or have that much allegiance to Grayson yet. And then I had my thought, I'm like, maybe you're traumatized. You're going through a lot of trauma right now. Like, there's a lot happening. So you're like, I don't trust anything.
Yes.
But I was like, please kiss the dude goodbye. He's
I
just
mean,
like risk
listen,
everything
at
for
this-
you.
Yes. At this point,
Yes.
I'm like, it is Stockholm syndrome with Grayson.
Yes.
Jameson is the real one, you know? Like you are being fooled.
Yes.
And you guys, then like right
Right
at
then.
this moment, as
Yes.
you are having like, okay, well, two is three, but like as like Court and I
Are
are
having
having this
moments
feeling,
of like,
reading
this is
this
the
book,
one.
the door opens and then you're like, and you know, and then you don't see, and then you just hear it click, and then you realize Grayson has busted them right as she's about to get free, and he goes, "Take your hands off my wife." Oh my God! And the
Yeah.
allegiance switches
Yes.
right then. Boom! Team
Yep.
Grayson forever. It's over for Jameson. Done.
Yeah.
Holy fucking shit. I felt so manipulated.
Yeah.
I was like,
Oh my God.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
and
Yes.
then like she's in there, and then that moment when she's like between the two of them and they both have her hands on them, like, this is it for me. I'm like, I don't know, why choose? Like,
I'm all about why
no,
choose.
that's true.
I only discovered why choose books really this last year, and I'm like, where have they been all my life? Because I love a love triangle. I hate when they end because I never want to pick.
Yeah.
I'm just like, this should
Yeah.
be.
You
I
know?
famously, I was wrong on Vampire Diaries. I wanted Stefan, not Damon. I think they picked the
I
wrong
also
ones in
wanted Stefan,
Inheritance
too.
games. Right? I feel like it was Stefan.
Yes.
Inheritance games, wrong brother in Inheritance games.
Yes.
Should have
Yes.
been, yes,
Oh my God.
right?
Yes.
yeah,
Ugh.
yeah.
Blood of Hercules
No.
is the only one that got it right, as far as I'm concerned, because she keeps it. Why choose?
Because
I'm like,
it's choosing.
great. Psycho
Just
shifters. Just
Everybody is
All get
available,
along.
you know? Yeah. It's because
Yes.
I mean, but then, you know, oh my God, I can like feel it like physically, you guys.
yes, I know. It
Right
was
now
so
as we're
intense.
talking about it.
I
Like,
mean, the second
that
they say my
line,
wife.
that
But
line.
my wife.
Yeah.
And
It's
but
always
then,
that line.
and then this is the part of me that goes, what the fuck is wrong with us? Because of course he's like claiming her as his property. And it's like, bro,
In this
why is
feminist
that
driven
turning
book
me
that
on?
turns us
I know, just
on. I know. It seems like it's opposite. Again, look, it doesn't have to be logical. I understand why we're confusing to men. We want you to respect us and make our choices. And then when we say and give you consent, then you can claim us and do what
Yes.
you want
Yes.
in the moment. Consent first.
Yeah.
Then go
Consent, but like now take charge.
and read my mind.
Just manhandle me, please.
Yes.
In these 5 days of the month.
If you're outside the window, back the fuck
off.
It's so true. Oh gosh. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
This
Like
is-
thankfully this book takes place in a week. So
Right?
probably like
Yeah,
green
it's very
flags.
quick.
Well, okay, so did that throw anybody off? Like as you were reading, because I was reading it
Yes.
digitally, so I kept, you know, like each time it's easy to kind of see where you are and see what the next chapter is called. And then when it started to be like timeline, I was like, what? How does this come together? Like, where are we?
I'm
Like,
still
we're
not
looking at,
sure
like, 3
ages
a.m.,
either.
11 a.m.
Yeah.
I don't
Oh,
know how old I
anybody
don't know
is.
how old Lyra was because of the 5
no, wait,
years
so,
that like they're in their 30s.
Shadira's in her 30s, so is Grayson. So
Yes.
Lyra's in her 20s, so she's like 25.
Okay.
She's quite young, I think. She's
Yeah, but I didn't know what the
25 or
age
younger.
gap was because she talks about when she was
Oh, Grayson
14,
and
and then they
Shadira
talk
were,
about
like-
when they were like
Grayson
not
and Shadira
not
were like
them,
the same
but
age.
Lyra
Oh, Callum
specific.
and Lyra.
Yes,
I think that was like a 6 to 7 year age gap. I don't think it was that crazy.
okay. I couldn't tell.
Yeah.
That was the one I was like, I don't know how old she is.
Maybe 8 years. It wasn't like a massive age gap thing
Okay,
going on.
she's like
there.
a
No.
woman now, but flashing back to when she was a teen,
Yes.
and then also 5 years ago she was still over 18 when they hooked up.
Yeah. She would have
Yeah,
been
yeah,
like
okay.
20.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
because then I'm like, I wonder. I don't know if I buy into her not being sold to someone yet through the dad if she's too far into her 20s.
I think she's only like 25. And I
Okay.
think the dad has been using her as a power card the whole time. So
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
hasn't picked somebody yet because he's like, I've still got Grayson to like marry off. And he
Right.
was marrying Grayson off to that power family. And he's held Lyra back. And he even says it at one point. He's like, okay, well, now I'm going to like he says to Grace, he's like, doesn't matter. Like, your sister has a perfectly good womb,
Yeah, right.
And
I can
so
get
I think
another
that's
heir.
why he was holding her back as long as he could. But I
Yeah.
understand where your confusion was there. But yeah, no, everyone was kind of in their 30s. Then Jagger is older. He's like in his 50s and or like late 40s.
Yeah, Jagger's a bit older.
Yeah.
The
Yeah, he's
Daggermouth
like a
Jagger
father
guy,
is like a
figure.
father
Yeah.
figure for Shay. So
Yeah.
he's probably closer to 50, I would say. Like
Yeah.
Mikhail.
Yeah.
I think him and Mikhail are similar ages. Mikhail is
Yes.
the colonel for the president who we think hates Grayson all along and is like subtly like putting digs and getting him down. But it turns out is actually Grayson's real biological father because
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
mom was having an affair with him and they loved each other, but she was forced to marry the president. We find this big reveal as part of the
Okay.
reveals of the
Yeah.
reveals. I didn't
You
see him
guys.
coming as his father either.
Yeah,
No.
that was the other one that I
I
did
was like,
not see coming.
oh,
Yeah.
didn't see that
Yeah.
happening. And
Yeah.
the,
Yeah.
okay, before we get into the end of the reveal, the like torture device that he puts on the mother,
Oh
that part is
my
what also reminded me of
God.
Alchemize, of like the like
Yeah.
gruesomeness of that and her like I just couldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
And
was
now
tough.
gruesome.
with the lens after the end of the book, looking back on that, I'm like, okay, I get how she might have gone through that. Like, but it's
Yeah.
awful. Like,
It's
horrible,
so
horrible,
brutal.
horrible.
But
Yeah.
you kind of it really with the end makes sense. Like without it ending the way that it does, which we will get to, it still plays. It still
Yeah.
plays, that she's very much so like the tortured elite wife, like that thing. And you're like, because you do think like, why is she just putting up with everything? Now it is very well put out that he has such a stranglehold on everything that if anybody goes against him, they're dead. Even
Oh, and
his
it
own
would have
family.
threatened his kids to her for sure.
Yeah.
She did it for her daughters. Like that was her
Yeah.
like thing to keep her
Yeah.
safe. 100%.
But I mean, so like back to the daughter, like now that we're in spoilers, whoa, Lyra's story, like
oh, it's
fact
so,
that
that
she,
part
like,
like fucked
very
with my head. Like that's
Yeah.
so gross and hard.
I
That was
was
the
not
hardest part.
expecting that.
Neither.
neither was
Yeah.
I. And so when that
Yeah.
comes out that she's like, when she has that moment, who tried to kill them in their place, Grayson and Shadira and Callum. And she comes in and she's all mad and she's very mad at Callum for, and Callum's feeling bad because he's like, now she knows how dark of a person I really am. And then she's like, what was his name? Give me the gun, and goes and like shoots him and comes back. And then we find out that her dad, the president, allowed 14 or was it 11? Allowed 11
11.
She
his
was
men.
14. Yes.
Yes.
When she was 14 to like individually over a period of a couple months or whatever have their way with her to secure the allegiance of these men or whatever.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
like
He gifted her to them and they raped her.
ugh,
And it's so
yeah,
disgusting. Until
Yeah.
the mother
That was
found
tough.
out and then put a stop to it by threatening suicide, basically, which
Yeah.
with the
would make
image
him
meant
look weak.
everything.
Yeah.
Again, a leader that needs image to be, powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah, that whole part was just so
Yeah, that was tough.
disturbing. And
Mhm.
I guess again, that's where I guess I keep tying it to Alchemize because those other books don't. Well,
Those
Handmaid's
two
Tale does, but
Yeah.
yeah, like those. There's these moments that. But here's the thing, and I am not one to read about rape or about like I can't handle it. It's too real. It's too like on the surface. But the way it's done in this book and say like an Alchemized, it is digestible, like as much as it could be.
Yeah.
That it's so
Yeah.
interwoven in the story that you can do that without that being like where
Yes,
you
and
land
you're
and be like,
not
I can't
you're
get past
not
this.
well, in Alchemized you are to an extent, but in this one you're not living the moment of the scene. You're just hearing
Yeah.
her tell her
Yeah.
story.
Yeah, it's in the past.
Yes.
Which is like shocking and really does sort of like stop the whole room and everything, and but it also does explain, and even the torture chamber that the mother is held in, these things do sort of explain, as the reader, like, because you are going along like, how does this guy have this power over everybody, the president,
Mhm.
like how is he doing this? And by individually, like, torturing in secret everybody in a different way and making them feel very traumatized and separate from one another. And in
Yeah.
ways that where we were talking about earlier, how they don't even, that nobody's communicating with one another
It's
except
all in
for
secret. And he actually
everything's
knows about
happening
it
in
all, which is
secret, and he knows about all of it.
Yes.
and we find out at the end, like, he's been in on it
Yeah.
the entire time,
Yeah.
which is
crazy,
like,
yeah.
because Grayson was giving medical supplies to the Boundary and has been sneaking it and thinking he's been doing this all on his own. And then we find out that the father knew about it all along. But was kind of okay with it because he had the older brother, Brooker, who you think is dead the whole book until towards the end, who comes out as part of the resistance and is like there with them to take down the dad. And then, as we talked about earlier, you get to the twist that he's actually working for his dad and joined the resistance for his
Yeah.
dad. Ugh.
Yes. Which
That
Ugh.
moment is really a kick in the tits. It's really
Ye-
just like
yeah, because it reminds me of Daggermouth, like when you found out like
Yeah.
Lee is like
Yeah,
the
and
prince.
that's why.
Yeah, like that reminded me of that, and I was like, God, of course that would happen.
Of
You're like,
course. Yes.
Of course.
But good
Yeah.
for her, because it was a different move that I did not see coming. Him alive and
Yes.
him being part of the resistance, we saw coming.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, wait, hold my beer.
Yeah.
Watch this.
But I
Yeah.
feel like she does that, like she just does it at every turn in this book,
Yeah.
H.M. Wolfe. She's like, oh, here's what they think is gonna happen. Hard right other direction, you know. Which is like part of why we all love it so
Yes.
much, especially those of us who read a lot, because it does get to a point sometimes where you're like, okay, yeah, you know.
Yeah, it's hard to find a
Um,
romance that feels fresh, that keeps you
Yes.
turning, that keeps you going, that you haven't read a version of this. And
Yes.
I often will catch that, even when I know I'm fine with it. But this one really was different. And I'm like,
And not
okay.
even
Yeah.
not even just a version of it, but also where you're reading it and you are like, oh, this is why this is happening, you know, or like this is why.
Right.
Like sometimes it's like, okay, but if you just did this, if you just pull this one thread, everything's fine, you know.
Right.
Whereas in this one, you're like, there's too many. You think if you pull this thread, if you
Yes,
think
yes.
if they were all talking to each other, it would be fine. And then like the Brooker thing throws that off because he's manipulated everybody. So then in a way they were right not to be talking to each other, because if they had
Yes.
been, then he would have known even more sooner, you know? And it's like, oh,
Yes. Oh, well, I do love the
Yes.
one thing the dad didn't know that surprised him was Lyra and her movement with the women. That's the one thing he didn't
Yes.
account for or see coming. And I loved that part. Like,
I
at
loved
least-
that.
'cause-
I loved the
Ugh.
description of like the women taking off their masks and then taking off their robes and just being all in the white slips. And I
Yes.
loved how there was more than one of them and I didn't love it because for them, but I loved how it proved that like the level of sickness of the society, like the
Yes.
amount of the women with bruises on their bodies, you know what I mean? And other things where it was like, they're not safe in their homes. Like this level of oppression isn't, nobody is functioning in a
It's
healthy
not serving
way.
anyone but
Yeah.
the people at the
Anyone.
top, as always with a dictatorship. It only serves the
Like the
dictator.
one person at the
Ye-
top. Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember Lyra had mentioned to Callan, I believe, that the dad would like underestimate women, basically.
Yeah.
And there was like a whole speech that she does, which I really loved the whole
The
thing.
speech was so good.
Yes.
Which
That
is
was so
so-
good.
Yes, it was done
Oh.
so well, and also speaks to like what's happening even today, like which is kind of sad. That it's
So
still
that's
happening
the
today.
interesting thing with this book, right? Is that Lyra honestly ends up being a voice for women in general. Most women, I
Yes.
think, will identify with her and like what she says, and it's so profound, and we can all see ourselves and like want to be part of that movement and be with the women that are standing up and be part of that. And yet she's not the main female character, so that also doesn't happen very often. That the secondary one you also can
Yes.
align yourself with so strongly, which is also
Yeah.
why I think we attached ourselves to the Callum and her story. So it was
Mhm.
almost like two female main characters, because it didn't
Yes.
start that way,
Yeah.
but hers became so big that you would normally think would happen in, say, like the second book
Yeah.
would be like Lyra, right? But the twist at the end that we all find out is that the mom is the Python, has actually been the mastermind behind everything, biding her time to take down the president, and like
Yeah.
arrives in the nick of time at the end, and we realize she's the mastermind behind all of it as the Python,
Yeah.
and which is what the second book is called.
Yeah.
And it's like another woman. The women in this book take it. They are the strongest. That's
Yes.
why the
Yeah.
guys seem soft around even Shay. Like, because it is about the women. That's what's so wonderful about this book. We are the ones, as in real life, that plan and actually can get shit done and like take our time and patience and like fix things.
Mhm.
But it's definitely like in the first book, a lot of surprises that you usually see play out over longer amount of
Because
books and
it's a
series, which I
you know
love.
it's because it's a duology. This is only going to be 2 books.
And it's
this
her
whole
first
thing.
Yeah.
one. So it wasn't a
Yes.
traditional publisher being like, no, push this. Like normally an editor, traditional publishing would
Yeah.
go in and be like, no, let's make this 3 books.
Or
Let's
like,
make this
yeah.
5 books.
Yes.
But I
Yeah.
like it better this way. Like
We
it's-
all
and it's
do.
Yes.
very-
We
it's
I think
all
everyone
do.
does.
Yeah.
It's just for
Yeah.
money that they make us read 4 fucking
Yes.
books. It's annoying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
It's like,
Yes.
don't drag it out.
Courtney
if it's
obviously
not
has some very strong
there.
opinions about that.
I get
Yeah.
so mad. I'm like, this should be 2 books. This should be
Yeah.
what? Like, it doesn't need 5. Just like,
No.
I hate
Yeah.
it.
I
But
mean,
it's fine.
it also speaks to like, and you know, like it's why certain things that have been done outside of the traditional kind of like money making, you know, larger machine are blowing up, and everyone is loving
Yes,
them
'cause
so
they're
much more. And
satisfying.
it's because
Yeah.
it's done properly. It's done the way it's
Yes.
meant to. It's not done just for the commerce. It's like
Yeah,
allow
it doesn't have the
the
filler.
art, even if it is pop art, like allow the art to be first and
Yes.
trust that the artist has more in them for other stories, other books, other shows, other whatever. But like, let it be told in the way that it needs to be told. Don't stop fucking dragging everything out. It's so
Yes.
boring.
Yeah.
We
You
lose
know?
time. It already takes so much time to read books. And then if
Yeah.
you're reading filler in a book, you're like, come on, we don't need a bottle episode of a book. Like,
No.
Yeah.
just let us read the
Yeah.
story. I said this comment in my post today about the Sarah J. Maas unveiling of the 2 books. And I'm like,
Mm.
they better be thick then. Like, if these are
Yeah.
small, like quarter star, like Frostlight style books to like make 1 book into 2 for money, I'm going to be so mad. Like, they better be worth 2 books.
Well,
Because
the
if it's
story
1
better
book
really
broken
be
up
there,
into 2
too.
just for money and time, I am going to be very upset.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Rightfully so.
Yeah.
You know, because you see how well this works in this one. And like, I love, so at the very, 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 very end, you know, and Alara, the mom, who you really have been like
Fuck
we
this
know
bitch,
you've been through
basically.
it, but
You've been
like,
disappointed
fuck
by her.
you.
You've been disappointed
Yeah.
by her.
A
Yeah.
lot.
Because her
Over
kids
and
have
over
been, and
again.
through their lens, you see they've been disappointed by her.
Children have been traumatized on a
Yes.
level where it's like, you needed to kill that motherfucker in his sleep a long ass time ago, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so when she comes out and you realize like, and it is because Canasia, I love you make that point about Lyra's speech and the women being underestimated. And it is because that Maximus, the president, wasn't looking at the women, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Except for Shadira, except for Shade. But he really wasn't, he underestimated just how strong she was as well, like how much she would be able to withstand. But he wasn't looking at the women like in his family right there. He
Yeah.
thought like, oh, they're nothing. Like I've already got them covered. They're so weak. They're just like beaten to a pulp. And then the mom pulls over mask and is like, I'm the python. And you realize too, the way she says it, I'm like, oh, because he kept talking about like these other cities and these other, you know,
Mhm.
like that are further away. And I'm like, oh, she's been communicating like outside to them as
She's
well.
the
Like they're
full ringleader of the
like,
resistance.
this is like bigger than Newfound Haven.
And you've
you
heard
know?
Python
Yes.
be mentioned. You've heard
You
crumbs
have.
of
Yes,
Python,
yes.
and people have said it's someone that I thought has been out of the game for a long time. Like they thought she'd gone dormant and dead. They didn't know. As much as Brooker was like lying in dormant city for like 6 years, she's been doing it for like 20. Like
Yeah.
it's huge. It's a huge moment when you're like, wait,
Yes.
what?
And it's just like,
Especially
she just
'cause-
waited.
She
She
waited.
just waited for the right
Satisfying.
moment.
Yeah,
Because
you
like,
just lost
I'm gonna-
Callum. You
Yeah,
needed
'cause
a
I'm
win.
gonna say- 'cause I'm saying, say with the men, like Jameson, like trying to like rush and get done, like doing something
Yeah.
very quickly. Like all the
Yes.
men were trying to do something very quickly, but all the women, they waited. They waited
Yeah.
for their perfect moment. They didn't need to rush into it because they already were planning it ahead of time. They were just
Yes.
waiting, which I really liked.
Loved
I
it.
did too. And I liked in the end that like the women saved themselves. You know, I sort of
Yes.
saw it coming
Yeah.
with Lyra with her thing. And then I was like, oh, maybe she's shut down all of this stuff. And that's why Callum has to run. And I was like, oh, she's got like a bigger thing going on. And then that kind of got shut down, you know, and I was like, shit, okay.
Yeah.
Because I was really at that point, I was like, oh, the women are going to save themselves. This is amazing. And then it wasn't until like the last couple pages and then Python comes out and I was like,
Yes.
fuck yes, the women
Yes.
are going to save themselves. That's like, this is
Yes.
amazing.
Yes.
Yes.
And it was so satisfying. And I found myself reading this. There were points where I was like, you know, you can get into like, it's a little bit of a rage read, but then it also just felt And I don't know if I'm just like somebody who does this. I read a book about invisible women, and it was like the data of how like around the world women are treated as second-class citizens. And if we weren't, like the world economy would actually be better. Like the data's on our side.
Yes.
And you could read that book and be really sort of depressed, or angry. And like same with this book, you could read it and just like rage read it and just be fucking furious and just like the whole thing. And there is that element to it. But then I came out of it and I felt like so empowered and
Yeah.
calm. I was like, oh, like it like took all that rage and like channeled it in a way. And I was like, we got this. I don't know. I was like, just kind of like, which to me feels more empowering than like just kind of like blind anger. Cause
Yeah, I think it's
where-
more,
where do you
I
go
think
from
I
there?
agree that I felt more empowered than rage at the end of it, of
Yeah.
like what we can, but still not, and like, and then you just look at the news and then you're just in rage again. But
Yeah.
for
But
a
like I
moment.
feel like female rage, like I think men think it's like women throwing like a tantrum, like being all crazy and everything, but female rage is really being like quiet and like
Yes.
Thank
It
you.
is
like
that
internal.
calm.
Yeah.
It is
It's
that
that
like,
calm, basically.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
How do
think
we
you're
fix
right.
this? What do we do?
Yeah.
Listen,
Yeah.
whatever the underground woman movement is that's going to fix this, message us. We'll join you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's our.
Yes.
I'll sign up with the Lears out there getting this going.
Mhm.
Yes.
We're in.
But you're
This
right,
is our
Canasia. That's a
code
really
to
good
Python.
point. It is that quiet.
Yes.
Yeah. Or call it to the current
Yes.
Python.
Yes.
That is
We're
so-
with you.
She's waiting. She's waiting.
Right?
But yeah, you're
Oh my
totally
gosh.
right. It's that quiet power, and then like, okay, how do we fix this? What do we do? So like,
Mhm.
we have the power, so let's just like figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so
Yeah.
good. It's such a good book.
a
It
great-
was such a good read. And you're right, the romance part of it is there. It's slow burn, it has the spice, it's fun.
Mhm.
But that's not the main thing of the book at
Yeah.
all.
No,
It's a
it's not.
dystopian like fantasy more than anything.
Ooh, but before we sign off, we do have to, Kate,
Oh,
Court,
Court. Kate.
Canasia.
Kate.
Kate.
Court.
Canasia. I was like, wait a minute.
C's.
Yes.
See, ladies.
Yes.
What do we want to rate this?
Yeah. On the
How
pumpkin spice
many
meter,
pumpkins
where
on a
does
pumpkin
it
spice
set?
meter? Oh gosh, I have to remember now.
Um,
I feel like 3
Well,
for me. I think.
really? I
I don't
felt
know
like
if
it
it's
was
3. It
like
might be a 2.
1.5 or 2. Because I just read it. I literally just finished it like at 4 a.m. So I'm like,
Well, I
it's
put
still
it to
pretty
2.
fresh in my
I
mind.
put it to 2 if there's sex. Like if there's descriptions of sex.
I think it's-
I put it
I
to
would
a
Well,
2.
there was
the
the script.
three.
Yeah, there was like
I think
Yeah.
I think Callum and Lyra bring it to it.
They're seen. Yeah, it's not like a lot. Like it's very light.
not-
but
yeah.
like, it's. I'd say 2.5,
It's more like-
3. In terms
Yeah, I
of
would-
descriptors, if you're like,
Yeah.
if you
Yeah, I
were
would
just
say 2.
basing it on like a teen like kissing book to like full 5,
Yeah,
then it's, yeah.
then it's a 3. But it's interesting though because there's all this kind of like fiery violence around their sex scenes, like they shoot each other, you know what I mean? And then, but there's a lot of like the thing. I guess why we're landing at this like 2.5, 3 zone is there's
Or
a
2.
lot where they stop. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like they
Yeah.
go so far and then it just stops, and then
Well,
it's like
And in these kind of books, it's not the main driving force, so you kind of
Yeah.
forget or lose.
Yeah.
It doesn't have the same lingering spice that like books that are super spicy or like more on the romancy side carry through the storyline.
Mhm.
It's more just a secondary part. So even though it's descriptive and hot, yeah, it feels more like a 2.5 because of it. It's not important.
Yeah.
It's important to the story, but it's not the focal point of the story.
No, but there's enough
Yeah.
of it. There's enough of it. Like the early on is great, and then there's enough stuff. But there were some points where I was like, okay, come on, are we gonna like let's get there?
Well, it was like Callum and Lyra when they were like having their moment, and then Shay and Grayson were like locked up. I was like, guys, wait a second.
Yeah.
There's something that's happening over there, but you guys are like doing intimate things.
Yeah.
Like we need to get the story moving. We need to get the story
We
moving.
don't have time for this pause. We need to get back to like
I
getting
know,
them out of
locked
jail.
up
Yeah, because it was like a long like scene for them too as well.
Yeah,
Like,
it's true.
yeah, and I was like, there's Shay and Grayson like locked up over there. I'm like, guys, let's get back into the story.
Can we save our main characters, please? Again.
Yeah, so I was like, the main characters are kind of important right now.
So
Because
your
everybody-
spice meter is the
because
timing.
they didn't realize where Shay and Grayson were, and then all of a sudden they were having an intimate moment. And it was so long. And then I'm like, okay.
So that's
yeah,
what
he
makes
had
it
to give her
spicy.
5
It is a
orgasms.
long, it's a long spice thing. So it
is.
does have that spice there, but on
Yeah.
preference of when it occurs, it's very low.
It was just like the worst moment to like do something because I was like, there is something else that's really big that's happening right now. Like, don't need to do this.
That's so funny. I was totally fine with it. I was like,
I
sure,
was too.
I'll jump in here
Well, I
with you
was
guys
fine
for a
with
bit.
like, I think it was like after I read it, I was like, wait. I was like, that scene took way too long, and I'm like, Shane and Grayson are like suffering right now while they're
I
like
know, but there
doing their
wasn't
thing.
anything they could do for them at that point. They might as well
Yeah.
feel good.
I mean, it was a very intimate scene. Like, I really like it. Really
Nice.
cute. Very nice. Yes.
Yeah.
That's nice.
It was hot. It was hot.
Yes.
But
Some
yeah,
point
yeah,
when the world's
no.
on fire, you just gotta take your clothes off and have some fun. Because what else are you gonna do? You're like,
I mean,
Exactly.
you know, good thing they did too, because then fucking Callum got.
oh my god! Imagine they
dead.
didn't do that, Kanisha. It was actually the only time they could do it
That was
because he
it
was
for
about to
them.
die.
Oh, wait,
Yeah.
that's true. That's true.
That was like
They had to have their moment. That would have been so much worse.
that was the fuck of
That's
their
so
lives.
true.
That was it.
Yeah,
I would have died. I would have died if they didn't have a moment, honestly.
exactly.
Now the scene makes more sense.
Yes,
There
that's
you
why I have her
go.
there because he's about to die when they rescue them.
Remember, I said when their sex scene finished, I was like, "Oh, he's a dead man." I was like,
Yeah, that was too hot. He's
that was
gonna
so
go.
hot.
Oh my god.
He's dead. Oh my gosh, I love it. All right,
It's like
well,
staying
that-
a virgin in a horror movie. You're like, oh,
yeah,
once you give it up,
what a shame.
you're gone. If you get a
Yeah.
hot sex scene right before it was action's happening, oh, you're not gonna make it.
Yeah, you're
That's
toast.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Amazing.
All right.
Kanisha, thank you so much for
Yeah.
coming on. This was I'm so
Yeah.
glad we finally got you on here for one. And that you
Yeah.
finished
Me
it.
too.
Yes, it was so fun.
This is amazing. It was so fun to have you on. You guys, this book is fire. Read it. Read it now. It's
Yes.
so good. And I don't think we can overhype it.
No.
You know.
You gotta read
Yeah.
it. It's worth it.
Yeah.
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 Definitely. And then Python, whenever it comes out, we'll cover again. And Kanisha will
Oh
come
my
back and we'll
God.
talk about Python.
So,
Yes.
Absolutely. Yes. I love it. Okay. Well, that's it for today's episode of Kate and Court's Cozy Corner, talking about Daggermouth by H.M. Wolfe.
Mhm.
We'll be back with you soon with another book. Bye.
Yeah. Bye.
bye.
Settle in and grab a book, a comfy chair, your favorite nook with Kate and Court. Yeah, it's the Cozy Corner.
You know the drill. Be sure to like and subscribe wherever you listen to our podcast.
Thanks for tuning in to Kate and Court's Cozy Corner Romance Reader.
Executive producers and hosts, Caitlin Stryker and Courtney Richter. Producers, Canasia Ngo and Holly Lebowski. Original music, Cassie DeSilva.